from Very Chic Emporium. Today's project is this lovely little bathroom unit. Well, I think it's a bathroom unit that I got donated by a lovely lady, so it's a freebie. And I have spent some time thinking about what I want to do with it and wanted to incorporate the lines. I originally thought I was going to do Heavenly Blue and Grey Pebble, but the Grey Pebble was out of stock and my order hasn't arrived yet, so I've swapped it out for Sugar Puff. I'm going to do a coat of Heavenly Blue first, and then I'm probably going to do some Crackle and then some Sugar Puff on the top. I have printed off my normal inkjet printer these lovely birds that I got from the Graphic Fairy, and I thought they'd look really cool along the lines, not every line, but I thought I'd randomly put them on there, an image transfer technique, so I'll show you how to do that. And then I've printed off a quote from a song from my childhood that I quite like, that kind of went with the bird theme, and that's another image transfer technique, so I'll show you how to do that as well, and that's going to go in there as well. So I'll pop back when I'm a bit further down the line and got some of the main colour on. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. Right, so I've done 2 layers of Heavenly Blue, and it's not perfect coverage at all yet. If I was going to make it a solid colour, I would do another coat, but because I'm crackling, I'm not going to. I've then put a whole coat of Crackle Glaze all over it and thoroughly dried it with a hairdryer, and you have to sort of touch it and feel it to make sure it's dry in those sticky places, otherwise it will just come away. So now I'm on to the next stage. I'm only going to show you a little bit because I have shown you it in more detail in other videos, but you've got one option at this, one try. So I get a little bit on my brush and I'm going to just work in one direction, and this tends to look messy at this stage, but that's okay because it all comes together with the sanding after. The crackles start quite quickly, and if you keep going over the same section, I'm being really gentle when I do that, you take it off. So obviously you don't want to take it off. So I'm literally, there's bits there that if you were painting it solid you would want to smooth them out, but I'm not going to because it will take off the crackle. So I'm just going to keep doing this, and there's going to be gaps where there's no paint at all, and I like that, that's all part of the look. So when I've done that all over and it's dry and you can see the cracks, I'll come back and show you what it looks like then. Alright. Right, so I did all of the Sugar Puff over the top and the cracks have come through, but when I looked at it I wasn't quite as happy with the combination as I thought I would be. So what I've ended up doing is going back over, not covering it up altogether, but going back over with some more Heavenly Blue. My dog is obsessed with paint and tries to lick it at every opportunity, so I'm going to have to move him before I get lower down. But still leaving some of the Sugar Puff in. I shall continue and finish that and show you when it's done. Right, so now we're on to the next stage. Much prefer it with the blue back on, and I'm going to still do some rubbing down in a bit, but first of all I need to get this image transfer on and properly dry overnight. So I've got 2 types of image transfer here. One is my birds, and I thought my birds would go strategically in different places here, and the second is my writing. Now the birds, I'm going to use the traditional image transfer, so it's actually going to go on backwards. So if I had printed out writing, I'd have had to make sure that I reversed the letters first, otherwise obviously it would all come out backwards, but it won't make any difference with the birds. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. The words, I've decided, I had done 4 lines, but I've decided that the 2 lines is enough. So what I've done is scribbled on the back with a normal pencil and then stuck it on the right way with a bit of masking tape. And I'm going to use a biro to literally draw around, pressing quite hard, all of the letters, and then I should be able to take it off, and the lead pencil that was on the back will have left an imprint, so I should be able to hand paint with a brush the writing using the font that I've chosen. So it's a really cool way of getting any font you want on exactly as you want it, because I couldn't freehand that and have it look as good as that. So I shall do that in a sec. For now I'm going to show you the image transfer with my birdies. So I've got some finishing coat here, and what I always do is wet, not too much, but wet the image first to set it, get it going, loosen up the ink a bit. Now this was dried overnight. Then I use some more finishing coat on the area that I want to stick it. So I'm quite liberal with it, as you can see. It's dripping everywhere, but that doesn't matter. So that's wet there now. And I can already feel this paper has soaked some of it in, so I'm going to add to it. No, I spilled paddling. No. Right, so now it's properly wet and fragile. I'm going to pop it on to... Okay. Now I need to make sure that it is properly sealed down with no air bubbles, but be careful because it's fragile, it's like tissue paper, you don't want to tear it. So that is basically it at this point for the image transfer, and we need to wait for this to properly dry, and I recommend, if you can, leaving it overnight before you start rubbing the back off. You'll get a better image, so it's worth being patient. So I'm going to strategically put the other birds on, and we'll leave that bit, and then I shall crack on with this bit, and we'll come back tomorrow to show you how we get this off. Alright, see you then. Right, so as you can see, I've done the writing. At the moment the writing's looking quite bold. I did it with black acrylic, and I'm not sure about it yet, but I'm going to rub it down and just stress it a bit so it's a bit more faded, and see what that looks like. I've made a start on the image, and that's all I'm doing is adding water to my finger and gently rubbing. It's quite messy, got bits all over the floor. That's okay. What you find is that when you've rubbed away what you think is everything, and then you leave it a bit, it dries and it starts to look a bit faded again, so then you have to have another go at it. And eventually it will still look a bit faded, but once you stick some finishing coat over the top of it, it will bring it back to life and it won't fade again. So this is all you do. This was done with a normal inkjet printer, so I did this on very cheap value paper. It does it with colour as well. It's a pretty good trick, but it's not an exact science. There are lots of times where if I was to go, it would rub off half a head, which wouldn't be ideal. You have to come up with a contingency plan sometimes, either to sand it back and distress it so that it looks like you were going for a deliberately vintage look, or you can fill it in and hand paint the bits that have gone wrong. I'll carry on and then I'll show you when it's finished. Thank you. Right, so it's all finished, other than I've got to give the whole thing a serious couple of coats of finishing coat because it's probably going to go in a bathroom, so I need it to be wipeable and waterproof. This has come out really lovely. There were some little areas around the birds where I couldn't get the paper off without risk of pulling the bird's head off, so all I've done is finishing coated over the top and then used some more of the blue to just break it up a bit so that you can't see it. This writing, initially I wasn't very happy, it was too dark, so I've greyed it down a little bit, but then I've gone over with a small paintbrush and the blue to thin down the letters to blend it in. So it's a question of playing with it really till it sits right with you. But I'm really happy with the result. I think it looks lovely. It'll look lovely in the bathroom. So hope you have a go at both of these techniques because they work and they work well together. Thank you for watching. Please follow my channel and subscribe to my page, which is www.facebook.com/The Emporium Furniture, which will take you straight to Very Chic Emporium. Thank you very much. Till the next time. Press the button again. It's about 3 more.
Love is so crazy, makes my heart go.